Hey everyone, I decided I'm going to be doing dates again because I want to keep track of it. What is today? Today is February 10th, day after the Super Bowl. You can go watch my video yesterday for more thoughts on the Super Bowl, but it was kind of, I like the Eagles won though, and I'm glad the Chiefs didn't win. Anyway, today, baseball's got the whole sports empire now. They're the only person in the club now. So today was more Cubs spring training stuff. There was I feel bad because Jed Hoyer, every time he talks to the media, they keep asking him about Alex Bregman, and he's obviously visually annoyed over it. Like, I don't know if that's to like the questions or if that's because he's annoyed with Scott Boras, but who knows. There was a report today that the Cubs could be eyeing Justin Turner as a third baseman free agent if they don't get Alex Bregman. Personally, I don't like that move at all. I'm not really too big of a Justin Turner fan, but I do understand the depth that will be needed for third base. I just hope it's not Justin Turner. I hope it's Alex Bregman. But I do know, Matt Shaw. They want to have him at third base, and I get that 100%. And I want to see that too. So it'd be more like if Alex Bregman gets signed, he'll just be the primary third baseman. Matt Shaw will have to find at bats in different places. But if they don't get Alex Bregman and they sign Justin Turner, I'd imagine it'd be more just like as a backup sort of bench piece. My issue is, in this era, the post-core era, that's what I'm going to call it, the post-core era, we've had a lot of those like boomer guys that get signed and are garbage. Yeah, I love them as people, and I love most of the people that put on the Cubs uniform. But don't really want to see another like old player come in and kind of take at bats. Obviously, that was also with David Ross, and he could. Is that my eye? It's like the reflection or something. Anyway, he was really, he was a guy's guy. He wanted to put his guys in and not really give a lot of other people at bats. So obviously that changes and that changed. But, we'll see. I think that's interesting. I think it's something to think about, at least in terms of depth, like a depth piece. But so I want to stop talking about Alex Bregman. I want him to just sign wherever he's going to sign. So anyway, next piece of news, Javier Assad is apparently dealing with an oblique, I don't think they said injury, but just like oblique ... I think that's interesting because it makes sense that, I don't want him to be traded. I think he's a pretty good, sort of, I keep saying depth piece, but really good depth for the Cubs. But it is interesting he hasn't been traded. I feel like he was kind of one of the number one candidates. Feels like he's just a good fit for a lot of teams right now. And I think he's sort of a guy that has hit his ceiling because I didn't think he'd be this good at all. And he's given us the past 2 or 3 years he's been on the in the majors. Really awesome production. And I still want him, but now that the rotation is filling out and we're getting into sort of a, competitive window, hopefully, I would love to add a very impact piece to the rotation, and then he'll have, no spot. And then he could go back to the bullpen, but now the bullpen's kind of full of, guys that they want to keep in the bullpen, So it makes sense that so now this puts into the whole perspective why he hasn't been traded. So it's kind of interesting. What was the last thing I was going to say? Oh, yeah. About Japan. They're, of course, going to be playing March 18th. Obviously, Shota Imanaga is going to start one of the games. Council kind of joked about, kind of mandatory. But one interesting piece of, thing that was found out is they're probably going to be pitching multiple starters in those games. And that makes sense because the pitchers have not been stretched out yet. So we'll probably see Shota for 2 or 3 innings, then a Justin Steele for 2 or 3 innings. Maybe he'll start the second game, and it'll be like more like that rather than like a normal game where Shota would go 6, 7 innings, whatever. So that's pretty much all the little news I could scrounge up today. But yeah, I stretched out that Justin Turner, Alex Bregman talk. But it probably won't matter because I think Alex Bregman is going to be a Cub. I think he will be a Cub. I think it's just he's trying to squeeze as much juice as possible. There's nothing left to be gained. So that's pretty much it. I'll talk to you guys later. We're getting close to the season starting. I don't even know what that song was.